Productive Nation podcast. I am your host, Adam, and our guest today is Wael Ibrahim. He's a life coach, international speaker, trainer, and teacher from Australia. Brother Wael is best known for his work on fighting the plague of pornography addiction and the harmful impacts of irresponsible media. I'm super excited about this episode. Stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Wael, and welcome to the podcast.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brother, thank you so much for the invitation, man.
Jazakallah khair. I appreciate you.
My honor, Allah, my pleasure. Jazakallah khair.
MashaAllah. So can you tell us more about what inspired you to speak against a topic that many people shy away from? I don't know if it was an inspiration or I was forced into it unintentionally. I'm not sure what it was, but two stories happened that made me decide to take that path. So the first, I mentioned it in my book, which was my first book that I dedicated it to that particular person who inspired me, if you want to call it this way. But subhanAllah, I mentioned his story many times because that was the starting point. This boy who was 18 years old at that time, who came to my office where I used to work back in Hong Kong. And right away, he told me that he wanted to commit suicide and that I was his last resort and he wanted some help and solutions and stuff like that. And when I requested from him to tell me more, he brought this issue of pornography and he said that he was addicted. And I swear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that at that time I was laughing in front of him. Pornography could lead someone to commit suicide. So that was the first shock. It took me a while to, research and read and so on to help him with the intention of just trying to find help. And I saw millions of people on the internet facing similar challenges. Then the second was the biggest, and that is a friend of mine who actually ended up in jail for a year plus. At that time, we didn't know that he was in jail. We just, didn't know what happened and where did he go and so on. And after a year plus, he came back and he told us that he was in jail. And the reason was that he attempted to rape someone on a school campus. And the reason was pornography addiction. So pornography inspired him to actually stretch his hand and try to sexual assault a girl on a school campus. I said, that's it. This thing is really big, and it's leading people to commit crimes. It's leading people to damage. It's leading people to commit crimes. It's leading people to damage, their own future and so on. So that's what made me focus on that field. Yeah. Subhanallah. Can you mention again the name of the book and where can people find that?
In fact, I have authored 3 books so far, 3 published books, 2 books in particular on pornography, and 1 book is just an inspirational quotes from my lectures and inspired also from the work of my teachers and so on. The first one was Change. It's called Change, Breaking Bad Habits, especially pornography. And the second one was Beat It, 50 plus Shades of Hope. This is a complete program on recovery from porn addiction, and it's suitable for Muslims and non-Muslims. So it's written basically from a science perspective rather than religion. The first one is religious and is spiritual.
Yeah.
The second is purely factual, and the third one is just quotations called Better Me: 365 ways to transform your everyday life. As to where people could get it from, I'm very bad at this. That's why you would need to email me so I could sort it out for you. So maybe we can mention the email sometimes before the episode.
Yeah, I have seen some of your book on Amazon, but obviously we can.
I could give you some links. You can add it to whatever you wanted to add them later.
Yeah, mashallah. I heard one of your title of the book was Hope. So what do you say is there hope for someone who is fighting this addiction?
Absolutely, brother. You see, in your introduction, you mentioned that I fight the plague of pornography addiction as well as the irresponsible media.
Yeah.
The media doesn't really care what content you receive as a consumer. All what the
50 shades of stupid, the 50 shades of rubbish that they gave us, it actually have a powerful impact on people's brain. And as a result, they get hooked on even more hardcore of these materials. So I thought, you know what, we should offer people some hope now, those who've been addicted for years. There are many forums on the internet. If you just could run a search on NoFap community or Reboot Nation of Gabe Dean and the like, you'll see millions of people are coming, shouting for help. They need help. They need someone to offer them hope. And yes, I say that there is hope. You can recover from this filth. You can recover from this addiction. And your addiction isn't you. There is a difference between the addiction in you, within you, that's controlling your actions, and your pure character. You're a pure person. Just you're hooked on something really very compulsive, as we're going to discuss soon. So yes, there is hope, inshallah. And that's why our brain, subhanAllah, Allah created our brain to function. Hope, inshallah. And that's why our brain, subhanAllah, Allah created our brain to function in a way that it can be molded, reshaped. That's why the field of the brain called neuroplasticity, it comes from plastic, which means you can change it, you can rewire it to its original state. So yes, there is hope.
MashaAllah. Talk to us more about the Aware campaign and the academy where you actually helping people to get out of the addiction.
Beautiful. So the Aware, or Wa'i in Arabic, it was an initiative that started in Egypt by Dr. Muhammad Abdul Jawad. That's the founder. And he has that hope or vision to bring about this awareness to the people in the Middle East, that, you know, to warn them from the harmful impact of pornography. And subhanAllah, within a few years, the idea grew very fast, to an extent that today we have over 1.8 million of Aware in the Middle East. And the idea grew internationally now. Alhamdulillah, I'm responsible for the English-speaking community in Australia, in America, in the UK, Philippines, Malaysia, all the English-speaking world, Sri Lanka, Indonesia. We have a lot of teams that we have trained. And the main job of Aware members is to educate the whoever is interested, whether parents, psychologists, counselors, people, leaders in the communities, imams, whoever wanted to really get on board, parents in particular, with the necessary knowledge so that they can protect their loved ones from falling into this trap. That's basically the Aware campaign. Now it becomes an Aware Academy. We have now structured courses and workshops, and we certify people who wanted to take the matter seriously. In September 21st, we will have our first international conference in Sydney, where we will have on board experts in the fields like Liz Walker from Brisbane, like Michael Flood, Professor Michael Flood from Brisbane as well, Gabe Dean from America, the founder of Reboot Nation, Dr. Robert Ways from America, and other experts in the field, to bring about this awareness to the public.
Wow, that's impressive. You know, I was thinking about how can we educate our community, or what is the best way to educate our community about this about this problem. And I believe Aware Academy or Aware campaign could be one of them.
Alhamdulillah, yani we claim that so far we are one of the leading organizations who are focusing specifically on this area. So yes, but I'm not to come and join Aware. I'm saying the best way is to normalize the conversation around this topic, because some cultures, and the Muslim culture is no difference, they tend to sweep, their dirt under the carpet and avoid this sensitive topics, taboo topics, and so on and so forth. So the best way to educate the people is to normalize the conversation, is to talk about it, talk about it to your children, raise awareness about it to your kids as young as 6 and 7. These not my words, by the way. These are the words of experts who have written books warning people, telling them that, hey, you got children, you got smartphones, you got internet connection, pornography is there, whether you like it or not. Yeah. If they don't see it now, they're going to see it sometimes in the future. One of the authors, they said the question now is not about whether my children will watch pornography or not. The question now is, when are they going to watch? Are they going to watch?
because
Yeah.
they're gonna watch. So you better prepare them from an early stage in life, so that when they see these things, they know that they've been warned. They've been warned with the harm that it could cause, and as a result, their brain would resist harder.
Yeah.
But if they are left to the people on the internet to educate them, pornography will be the primary education source.
Yeah. So best way to educate is to talk about it and start from the homes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You also mentioned the harms of the pornography. So can you tell more about those? What are the harmful effects of pornography?
You see, brother, if you wanted to discuss the harms that pornography could cause to people, to society, and so on, then you would need to bring me back again for various thousands of episodes, inshallah. So we can't treat all the harms of pornography in one setting. But I want to brief as to what pornography could cause. Pornography could twist one's understanding of the real sexual intimacy between spouses to an extent that a husband could actually violently beat, slap, choke, pull the hair of his wife as he pleased, thinking that this is sexual intimacy, that this is the way people should have sex, because that's what porn is teaching. Pornography could twist the understanding of sexual intimacy and respect for women when our children at young age look at the spitting on girls, calling them dirty names, and so on and so forth. These are some of the harmful impact that pornography could cause. Pornography addiction, as we said earlier, could lead to someone who may rape a lady just because they have seen these images and these scenes on the screen. And I'm not saying that every rapist has been a porn addict. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that pornography is capable of turning someone natural who have respect for women to rape them and to violate their rights. Pornography could actually change the physical brain, and these are according to Oxford studies, according to scientists, neuroscientists. They have these research. They said that the prefrontal cortex, the frontal lobes of the brain, could shrink by 4+% of its original size. That may affect on our level of focus, our level of motivation, willpower, and so on and so forth. The physical brain will change. That's why the people who are hooked on porn, they can't quit, because that part, the most important part of our brain, the part in the brain that is responsible for our decision making, is messed up. So they can't control their actions. So you see, brother, if we speak about the harmful impact of pornography, we will need several. It can affect on man most important function when it comes to sexual intimacy, and that is porn-induced erectile dysfunction. A man who perhaps visited these websites to learn something, to techniques to enhance his sexual ability, would lose that ability altogether as a result of his continuous viewing to pornography. So erectile dysfunction, can you imagine a man can't function sexually with his partner as a result of this film? And these all are things that can be backed up. Don't take my words for granted. Go on the internet, do your research. You will see that these things are not my words. They are already university. You'll see that these things are not my words. They are already university studies.
Yeah, they are from the studies. And these things, pornography industry is not talking about them. They are not sharing the harmful effects of it. So I want to know what is
of course, brother. Yani.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my question is, what is the biggest lie that is told by the industry?
Again, there are a lot of lies. There is no one biggest lie, and that's it. There are a lot of lies that porn industry is trying to promote. One of them is that pornography could actually enhance your sexual ability. What we just said now, that a man could lose his ability altogether because the brain would register the activities, would register the sexual activity as to be attainable through screens. So when a person has a real life partner, he can't function. The brain as the norm of sexual intimacy. So
the sex industry or the sex, pornography industry, they wanted us to believe that it's actually an entertaining. That's something, for entertainment. This is another lie. There is no entertainment that could have that lasting impact for life, that could lead to depression, could lead to anxiety. Could you imagine? I could have never imagined in ages that pornography would lead someone to be depressed, someone who wanted to end up his life. Can you imagine, brother?
Yeah.
So these are all that porn empowers women. This is another lie. They think that pornography is a way to demonstrate or to display women's beauty in any way that she wants. That's degrading to women. There is a research that has taken place some time ago where actually this is one of the biggest research in the field. I just forgot if you wish I could send you the name. Maybe you can include it under the video or the audio later on.
Yeah.
But this researcher, this professor and her team, they have purchased all the videotapes, pornography tapes. Can you imagine? In the mid-2000s, all of them, they purchased the most popular and they watched every scene in them. And they found out that 88% of the scenes being, shot in these films are degrading to women, whether verbally or physically. So what kind of empowerment are you giving women through pornography when you are portraying her as a slave, portraying her as, and the names, I cannot mention the names that the author in these filthy films.
Yeah, listening all those lies, I cannot connect it to be entertainment at all.
They wanted to sell it. This is their money. It's a multi-billion. This is their money. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they are proud of it. By the way, they're proud of it. Multi-billion dollars industry, and it's growing. The latest, some of the statistics of the most popular website, I can't mention the name of that website. They said that in the year 2018, 33.5 billion visits had occurred on that single website, brother. So you can imagine there is a huge demand, multi-billion dollars business. So the fight should be collectively now. We should collectively fight this giant that is destroying our children, our relationships with our spouses, our community, our health. This is something big.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And I want to go back to your work, and you are fighting against this giant. So what are the common challenges?
There are a few calls here and there from time to time where people will threaten you, call you a few bad names here and there.
Why they would do that?
Yeah, because as I mentioned, this industry is supported by giants financially able to do anything. They don't want anything to threaten their source of income. So anyone who talks against it, perhaps he's putting his life maybe in danger. Allahu A'lam, God knows. But alhamdulillah, we have taken an intention that we are doing this for our children. We're doing this for our community. We will just keep doing what we do and perhaps leave a legacy for others to follow.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the most, some of the other challenges also, this is the biggest one. Like this is the one that would scare your wife, would scare your family members and makes them worry about what you do. But the things that makes me sad as a person in this industry, about what you do. But the things that makes me sad as a person in this industry, as a person in this field, is that parents would sometimes come and say, "Hey, don't talk about this. This is too much of a taboo. This is something that you are." Instead of warning us and educating us, you're actually leading people to go and watch porn and so on and so forth. They are so naive to the fact that pornography is perhaps already been played in their home every single night, in their children's bedroom every single night. They are so naive. They don't. You see the statistics. This is one website claiming that 33.5 billion visits had occurred on a single year. So you can imagine how many more billions been visited other websites throughout the years. So we can't be naive to say, like, look, our children don't know what pornography is. That's so naive to even think. Yes, I do agree that maybe some children never heard the word porn, don't know what it is. I know, I agree. But in a few years' time, they will come across such filthy imagery. And that's why we say prepare them from now. Maybe teach them in the language they can understand best. Don't talk to a child at the age of 6 and tell him pornography. Rather, maybe you can say bad picture, good picture, like Christian Jensen, the author of Good Pictures, Bad Pictures. She said, she used these words so that young minds could understand and digest. But these are some of the challenges. Parents themselves don't want us to speak about it and to raise awareness about it. I hope some Muslim imams, some Muslim scholars, and it's unfortunate that they are not in favor of me speaking about it publicly. They wanted to, when somebody advise other than that, don't spread it, as if it is not spread already.
That's important that you mentioned that it's spread already. If you have an internet and a phone, that's it. You might end up seeing
it's
something
prevalent.
unintentionally, like all those ads.
It's prevalent.
Yeah.
It does not leave anyone. I have what we call clients or people that we help on a regular basis. We have Christian missionaries, we have pastors, we have priests, we have imams, we have niqabis, we have people memorizing the Quran. All those people I'm dealing with on a daily basis. I have atheist friends who have issues with this problem. I have couples who come crying. They can't have intimacy anymore for the past 10 years as a result of pornography. So we don't want to, I want to tell you something, brother. I don't want to debate the matter with people who don't like me to talk about it. I don't want to debate this anymore. I want to focus on those who are seeking help, man.
Yeah.
And I want to reach out to those who can't speak. The matter for them is so shameful that they can't speak anymore. So at least maybe when they hear my voice now, that hope will reach them. That hope could open doors for them to seek, the recovery journey that they needed.
Inshallah. And may Allah reward you from the work that you do.
You too, man.
Can you talk about more, or can you share some lessons that you have learned from your work?
Wallahi, brother, subhanAllah, I learned not to be judgmental. I learned not to look at the person who's coming, and sharing his grief and sharing his secret with me. To look at him with an eye of like, how could you do that? Don't you know it's haram? He knew from the beginning it was haram. He didn't know that it would lead him to that path, to that destination. He didn't know that.
Yeah. What will happen if you start judging from the pointing fingers and saying haram? What would happen in that case?
Yeah. So number one, that person will never come to you again and share any agony or any pain or any secret or any problem that you could have actually sorted it out for him, and as a result, you would be rewarded for sorting out his mess. The Prophet ﷺ, I remember there's a hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said that for me to walk with a person with an intention to fix his affair or help him to sort out his problem is better for me than qiyam and fasting. I don't remember the exact hadith if I'm not mistaken, but it's better for me, better than praying in my masjid in Medina. So you see, pointing fingers and judging people for their mistakes, for their sins, could lead them to bigger crimes, could lead them to very, very bad destination. The Prophet ﷺ could have also scolded the man who urinated in his masjid. Don't we learn from the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ? The man urinated in the masjid. The companions were a bit upset. He told them, leave him to finish, man. Leave him to finish. Let him relieve himself. And then after he finished, the Prophet ﷺ ordered the companions to clean what he did. And then he took him aside and then he explained to him that this is not the right place. That was the tolerance the Prophet ﷺ had shown to those who erred, to those who have fallen into temptations, who had fallen into... And the man who came to the Prophet ﷺ asking him to commit adultery. Allow me to commit adultery. Then leave zina, ya Rasulullah.
Yeah.
The man was almost giving up on himself, telling the Prophet ﷺ, I am fed up, give me permission. That's my interpretation, by the way. He didn't say that, but that's what
what it feels when a man comes to the Prophet ﷺ, knowing it's haram, true or false. He knew it's haram. He's a companion.
Yeah.
So the question indicates that the man was struggling with women, perhaps. But the Prophet ﷺ did not scold him, did not tell him that it's haram. Even he didn't tell him, don't you know it's haram? I'm the Prophet, how dare you? He didn't say that. He said, do you accept this to your mother, to your sister? He started asking him questions to facilitate for him ways to realize the damage that this could lead to. And as a result, the man, alhamdulillah, was guided. But the point is, brother, you asked me what's the biggest lesson. Wallahi, this is the biggest lesson. We are all sinners. We came from different backgrounds. We were not born with beards. We were not born on the prayer mat. We did not born having anything to do with Islam, to be honest. And I'm not talking about every single person, but I'm talking about myself and many like me and others in a culture that we experience a lot of bad things growing up. And alhamdulillah, Allah hide our faults. So we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us a means to hide other people's faults when they come expressing their agony about this issue. So this is the most important thing, is to be compassionate when a person open up to you and tell you, you know what, I have a problem with porn and I need help. Yeah, come brother, we are all sinners. Let's talk about it. Let's help you out, inshallah.
Yeah, that's true. And it reminds me of your first point. You mentioned the story about the boy who came to you, who wanted to end his life. So that will be the end result of pushing people away.
Can you imagine? This boy was saying, you are the last person I'm going to talk to.
SubhanAllah.
And by the way, I was laughing at him. I was laughing at him because I thought he was crazy. I thought he was laughing, he was joking.
Yeah.
But when I realized that he was shivering in front of me, is turning, I realized, no, it's serious. Let's now give him some time. And alhamdulillah, that this boy now is helping me. This boy now, today, he's helping me in what I'm doing. He's writing actually with me. He's promoting our work, alhamdulillah. May Allah bless him.
Alhamdulillah. In the light of your work, what is the change that you want to see in the world?
I hope and I pray and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant all the governments around the world, those people in authority, those people in power, the ability, may Allah give them the ability to realize that there are things in our lives, there are things in this world that they can control and they can actually help to minimize damage that they could minimize easily. I hope this is the change that I really want to see. I want to see the governments to come together and fight this plague with us. We as individuals, as organizations, as institutions, all what we can do is to reach very small communities and tell them, hey, be careful, pornography could ruin your life. That's what we can do. But governments could cut the evil from its root, man.
Yeah.
And they know it. They have the statistics on their discs. They know. But unfortunately, because money is involved, unfortunately, we can get a very, very little response from people in power. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them soft heart to move towards this direction of really realizing the damage that pornography could lead to and help us to stop this madness. Ameen.
Ameen. Ameen. Where can people find your work or easily connect with you?
Yeah, my Facebook is the easy channel. My email too. So my Facebook is Wael Ibrahim HK. That's my fan page. They know that I respond to all messages and all, as much as I can. Emails also are a very good medium, inshallah, to use. Wael at wael-ibrahim.com. That's my email, inshallah. Wael at wael-ibrahim.com. If you want to get my books or anything, just drop us an email, inshallah, and all the links will be sent back to you.
Awesome, mashallah. Jazakallah khair, and may Allah bless you and your work with barakah, and thank you for sharing your work and your story with us today.
Jazakallah khair, and thank you so much for having me, and I hope that we can meet again, inshallah. Shukran. حن قلبي على جمع